Okay, today's reading is page 292 through, I believe, 298. Sounds right? The Middle West today. By the late 1800s, railroads began carrying tons of corn, grain, and other crops from the Middle West across the country. The region became known as America's breadbasket. The spread of railroads and modern technology also brought new industries to the Middle West. Some, like the steel industry, helped our country to grow faster during the early 1900s. A changing business. Agriculture in the Middle West is still an important part of our country's food supply. However, the farms today have come a long way from the days of pioneers. Today, enormous machines plow the fields and plant the seeds. Another machine, called a combine, helps to harvest grains such as wheat. The combine cuts wheat and threshes it, or removes the grain from the stalk. Farmers also use computers to help them manage the many details of their growing farms. Computers can provide detailed weather forecasts, help them plan budgets and orders, and calculate prices for crops when they are sold. This technology has allowed many farms to grow very large. For example, one family can work more than 700 acres by using machines, computers, and other technology. Farm ownership has also changed in the last century. In 1900, most farms were family-owned. However, many people soon left farms to work in urban areas. Other family farms have been taken over by large companies. These companies often own many different kinds of agricultural businesses. Companies of all kinds. Whether families or companies run modern farms, most are involved in agribusiness. An agribusiness is a farm or ranch which is combined with other businesses such as food processing. Food processing includes any businesses that use raw food to create products to be sold. Food processing factories may package grains, can beans, or even make potato chips. Some food processing plants in Wisconsin package cheddar cheese in the shape of a cow. Okay, grain elevators. Many farmers sell their crops through a grain elevator, another part of agribusiness. A grain elevator is a kind of huge storage bin. People who run them also find buyers for the farmers. Wheat is driven by truck from grain elevators to flour mills, or it is taken to ports where it is shipped to other countries. Grain elevators are also used to store corn and other crops. Special businesses. Some agribusinesses are successful because they specialize in only one aspect of farming. Specialized means to concentrate on a particular product. A specialized agribusiness might produce cattle feed or fertilizers to sell to other farmers. Many of these specialized agribusinesses work together to do all of the work that was once done on one farm. An industry from iron. You have already read about how iron is mined. Although there are always been many uses for iron, the Middle West built another strong industry around it. This is the steel industry. One way that steel is produced from iron is by heating the iron in a container called a furnace. When the iron reaches 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, it melts. Then a gas called oxygen is mixed with the molten iron. This mixture forms a new material, liquid steel. As the steel is cooled, it becomes solid again. Steel is made from iron, but steel is stronger, lighter, and lasts longer. It quickly became a popular material for making things such as automobiles, railroad cars, and bridges. It is also used to make smaller items like forks and spoons. Because iron mainly came from the Middle West, many steel companies also started in this region. Other companies in the region use Middle Western steel to build cars, airplanes, and other goods. Alright, and I'm going to have you guys look at this one on your own in that PDF I sent you so that you guys can really see it because I know the words are kind of fuzzy in the video. Alright, so look at the Rising Skyscraper in your PDF and answer the questions. What role do the steel columns have in the building? And number 2, how are materials carried to high floors of the skyscraper? Growing up and out. If you visited any city in the United States in the late 1800s, you might be surprised to see the buildings were not more than 6 stories high. In 1885, a 10-story building was built in Chicago, Illinois. Instead of using wood or bricks, the builder used a frame of iron and steel to support the building. Steel-framed buildings soon towered above many cities. Steel was also used to make stronger, safer elevators to be used in the taller buildings. Chicago is still called the home of the skyscrapers. The 110-story Sears Tower, our country's largest or tallest skyscraper, not the tallest building, skyscraper, is located there. Competition from overseas. Today, the steel industry has more competition from other countries. Steel manufacturers in Japan and Europe have been able to build more modern steel factories. These factories produce steel faster and cheaper. By the 1970s, many American factories imported steel from other countries. Many American steel companies closed because they could not compete with the lower prices. Today, there are fewer steel companies in the region, but they are working hard to stay competitive by developing new ways to produce steel. Putting it together. The resources of the Middle West helped pioneers to establish industries that would last for many years. The region supplies crops such as corn, wheat, and soybeans. These foods may be processed for use in our country or exported to countries such as China, Russia, and Brazil. Steel is another part of the modern economy of the Middle West. Although this industry faces increased competition, it is working hard to stay an important part of the region's economy.